Hey everybody, and welcome back to another book review. I just finished our book club book for the month of September, and that is A Beautiful Blue Death by Charles Finch. It's a very interesting story. I like a lot of times in the book club that I'm in. I think I've mentioned this in the past. We tend to kind of stay in like three lanes. We have murder mysteries. We have like nice historic fiction, usually World War II, usually Britain, that we hang out in, and then a lot of like Christian genre because of a lot of people in the book club. But I was like not 100% looking forward to this one, even though it is a murder mystery. But I actually really enjoyed it. A Beautiful Blue Death is the first in a series of mysteries, and I probably will read more of them. And it was perfect for me just because I had been reading some kind of heavier books with the Fourth Wing series for a couple weeks, and so this was just a nice light break. I was like, I need something slightly happier, even though murder. But this like was the perfect easy in between reading, heavier books type book. Yeah, it's the book is about a guy named Charles Lennox, which I thought was kind of fun. That the characters are named the same, and he is an amateur detective. And what I liked about it was that it's like he's an amateur detective, but like amateur detective in a way that like Scotland Yard doesn't necessarily always come to him or like want his help. He just kind of gets asked by various other people, and so he's been solving all these cases, but then like the people in Scotland Yard still take credit for it. It's a little bit more interesting. He also appears to be a very wealthy man, very wealthy gentleman. His brother is in the House of Commons, I think. Maybe his brother's in the House of Lords. I can't remember. But either way, they are very, very wealthy. He gets asked by a childhood friend of his to look into the death of a maid that she used to have that had moved homes because this maid wanted to be closer to her fiance. And the maid was talking about moving back home. And anyway, as the story goes on, you find out that the maid wasn't really just this like perfect maid, and that there's actually a lot more at play. Overall, I would give the book probably a 3.5. Like I said, I really liked it because it's a murder mystery. I love British murder mystery type things. That's just the lane I love living in a lot of times. Even with like watching TV shows when I need just like a chill TV show, it's probably what you will find me watching. But I don't know. And it was the first book in this series, and I'm not sure. I tried to do like a quick little detour and look through some things, but I just felt like it was a little bit predictable in a couple areas. So they kept mentioning these two nephews, and they also kept mentioning that inside the home that the nephews are living in, there is some money that was being housed from the mint, and that I was like, okay, so obviously the nephews have something to do with it. If there's money in the house, they obviously have something to do with it. Like the whole time I was just like, the nephews have something to do with it. So I don't like when I can figure out a mystery really, really fast, unless like the characters are, super great. And the characters weren't necessarily just like super lovable. They're like each character, I really felt like the author just gave like an unhealthy amount of backstory for the very first book. I'm not sure if the author like planned for there to be a series or not, but knowing that there is a series, I would have rather learned some of that backstory later. It just wasn't necessary up front. It's definitely written kind of more along the old style of writing where it just drones on and on about stuff that you like just really don't need right now. So like, you know, it'd be like, well, Mr. Finch, he liked to go walking, and the reason he went walking was because when he was a child, he wound up walking for a very long time. Who cares? Like it just goes on and on about mundane things, and so I didn't really love that bit of it. I also thought so. There was like kind of a couple different lines of inquiry throughout the story. So you have the basic murder mystery of the first girl, then somebody else gets murdered, find out they're connected. Totally makes sense. And once those two things kind of get solved, and they're like, oh, and by the way, you also had this mint business. And so, yeah, the money was in his house, but there's like $200,000 missing. Like, and then they're like, oh, we totally forgot about that. And they throw that in at the last chapter of like, it was probably stolen. Okay. I don't know. I just really felt like it was a little disjointed, and I get why there were two kind of through lines of narrative that they did want to wrap up at the end, but it didn't help me with the wrap up. Like I don't know, I just got annoyed with it. So there's that kind of downside. So again, like I said, 3.5 is probably where I'm gonna fall. But yeah, like overall, I really did like the book. And I am going to give another book in the series a chance so that I can, you know, really kind of see how I do actually feel about this author and their murder mystery writing. From the girl that suggested it in our book club, she really likes the author. She really likes the style. And so that usually bodes well. So like I'm going to kind of keep going in that vein, and then we'll see. So yeah, there you have it. Again, A Beautiful Blue Death by Charles Finch, and 3.5 on my scale. Yeah. So thank you all for watching. As always, if you feel so passionate, like, comment, share, subscribe. I know I don't have a ton of extra content. Thank you those of you that came over from my husband's channel. Welcome. And so glad that you guys are here. If you haven't gone and checked out my husband's channel, Cheshire's Top Hat, it's all got a lot on it, mostly computer games and stuff like that, but we also do reviews together, and we are working our way through. We did Rings of Power together. We've got a couple movie reviews as well. There's some movies coming up that we'll be reviewing as well. But right now we are working through Back to the Frontier. So feel free to pop over and take a look at that if you feel so led and want to do that. And again, give a subscription, like, comment, share over yonder. Outside of that, I will see you all in the next book review. Bye!